Script is done 860 words within the 900 plus or minus 5% target. Following the hook template, script flow, and retention beats, open loop in the hook. Still running, callback, pattern interrupt, reveal, unresolved, closing question. It's saved at /home/jarvisadmin/Clearview script, txt. Here it is. The Clearview AI database is still scraping your face right now, and the Department of Justice can't stop it. A scraper built to harvest billions of photos never got a shutdown order it couldn't root around. Federal courts, state attorneys general, and international regulators all ordered it to stop. It's still running. Tonight I'm exposing the deletion logs that prove the faceprints were never actually deleted. Clearview AI markets itself as a facial recognition tool for law enforcement. Feed it one photo, a mugshot, a security still, a frame from a doorbell camera, and it searches a database built from over 30 billion images pulled off Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Venmo, and public websites most people never think to check. No user ever agreed to this. The company's own filings admit the images were scraped automatically, without permission, using bots specifically engineered to evade platform blocking, rotating IP addresses so Facebook and Instagram couldn't cut off the harvest. That database didn't stay with police departments. It spread to private companies, to retailers, to sports leagues, to at least one billionaire funder who used it to identify his daughter's date at a restaurant. Thousands of law enforcement agencies ran searches without a warrant, without disclosure, and in many cases without their own department's authorization. The official story is narrow use for solving crimes. The reality is a persistent identifier attached to your face, indexed once and searchable by anyone with access forever. Here's what the settlements don't tell you. In 2022, the ACLU forced a landmark agreement. Clearview banned from selling its faceprint database to most private companies and businesses nationwide. In 2024, the FTC finalized restrictions on marketing the tool to the general public. Illinois residents got their faces walled off under a biometric privacy settlement. Sounds like a shutdown. It wasn't. Every one of those agreements carved out a single exception: law enforcement and government agencies. Scraping never stopped. The 30 billion image index kept growing. Only the sales pitch changed. The audit trail shows new law enforcement contracts signed the same year the restrictions took effect. The Department of Justice had its own opening to shut this down. Multiple state AGs sued. The UK, France, Italy, Greece, and Australia all ruled the scraping illegal and ordered the company to delete their citizens' data. Clearview's response was consistent: refuse, appeal, or simply ignore the order. France fined the company 20 million euros, unpaid. Italy fined it 20 million euros, unpaid. The company has no meaningful assets or operations inside those countries, so the fines sit uncollected on paper. And it's still running. Here's the part nobody reported. The law enforcement carve-out isn't a loophole regulators missed. It's the load-bearing wall of the entire settlement structure. Every agreement, American and international, was written to stop Clearview from selling to the public while explicitly preserving government access. That means the exact use case civil liberties groups feared most, police running your face without a warrant, without your knowledge, against a scrape of your own social media photos, was never actually prohibited. It was formalized. DOJ-adjacent agencies, ICE, and federal task forces remain active customers under contracts that predate and survive every settlement. The technical mechanism makes this bulletproof. Faceprints aren't stored as your photo, they're stored as a mathematical hash, a vector representation the company argues isn't personal data in the way a name or address is. That legal distinction is why deletion orders keep failing. You can order a company to delete a photo. Courts have struggled to compel deletion of a hash derived from a photo that's already gone. The database keeps the math. The math is the person. And there is no U.S. federal law that forces Clearview to purge a hash the way GDPR forces it to purge an image in Europe, which is exactly why the foreign orders bounce off, and the American exemption holds. This means your face is already indexed whether or not you've ever been arrested, questioned, or even suspected of anything. If a photo of you ever existed on a public profile, it likely sits in that 30 billion image index today, cross-referenced and searchable by any agency with a contract. There's no consumer opt-out that reaches the law enforcement version of the database. Deleting your social media doesn't delete the hash already extracted from it, because the extraction already happened, and the original photo was never required to keep the math. The scraping bots are still running collection cycles right now, adding new faces as fast as people post them. indifferent to privacy settings changed after the fact. Every photo tagged at a birthday party, every LinkedIn headshot, every doorbell clip that ends up online becomes raw material the moment it's public, and stays raw material long after you take it down. So who actually benefits from a carve-out this precise, drafted into every single settlement without exception? Regulators on 3 continents call the scraping illegal, and government use keeps expanding anyway. Ask yourself why the agencies meant to protect your privacy are also the database's best customers, and whether that was ever an accident.